Yo, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Hopefully, you guys are having a fantastic day. Let's make sure everything is working okay. It's been a minute since I've done my own thing. Here, let's see. Let's see. Wonderful. Okay, let's see. It's been a minute since I've done my own thing. Okay, this is working. All right, if you guys are in the chat, feel free to say what's up. Um, chat should be working here. All right, I'll get started here in 2 seconds. We're just gonna wait for a couple people to pop in. Let's see. Working, wonderful. Again, it's been a minute since I've been able to do this. I've been hanging out with Steve Messenger the last few weeks on his show every Wednesday night. We have a lot of we have a blast. So yeah, we have a blast. We talk about all sorts of stuff, and from passenger pigeons to you name it, man. So, but he's out and about. He's enjoying his vacation right now, and then he'll be heading to I want to say Fan Expo Chicago next week. So if you haven't already, head over to his page, check him out. He's just Art of Steve Messenger. Steve, I hope you're having a fantastic vacation, my friend. So anyways, I have to apologize for my lateness on the stream. We ran into a few issues with the streaming software. Did not want to load, and yeah, so that's why I'm so late. Between that and my oven stopped working, I had to finish cooking the pizza on the grill. To you name it. Today has been an eventful day. This week has been eventful. This month has been eventful. So, we're going to talk all about it. We're going to talk about all the projects we got going on this month, all the projects we've been working on, and some new things that have come down. So, yeah, let's get started. Find the sketch cards. We're going to work on some sketch cards tonight, guys. I think is what we're going to do. I have so many projects coming down the line that yeah, it never ever ends. So here's what we're going to be working on tonight. Sketch cards galore. Sketch cards galore. We're going to ink the ones that are not inked and potentially add some colors to the other ones. And then we're going to talk about some of the projects we got going on. We're going to talk about Comic-Con, Artist Alleys, and how to get over the Artist Alleys blues and what is really affecting you every time you have a show that is preventing you from re-signing up to a show, and things that are preventing you from getting a better setup, all those types of things. So we're going to talk about it tonight, and I really hope you guys tune in. You say hello, join the conversation, and we're gonna have a good time tonight. So again, bear with me. It's been a while since I've done this without Steve. I've been doing it with Steve for a while, so like again, OBS was outdated and all sort of stuff. So we're just kind of getting back into the groove of things here. So first comes first, we'll talk about some projects that are coming to a head and finishing and all sorts of stuff. So one of them is, I'll show you here, the sketch cards, the trading cards, I should say. So obviously these cards are part of the sketch card trading card Patreon I did a few months back, and it is now August, and things are finally here, getting fulfilled. We're almost done. So here are some of the cool cards. I hope you guys check these out. These are cool. Heck, look. Down. Something to do with the way they were packaged. So I'll check out the sides here. They're nice cards. They're nice trading cards. Really cool collectible items. So yeah, these are on their way. These so the next part of this project is I have to individually put them all in the packs, seal them up, and send them on their way. I have an entire box full of cards. I'll show you. Just like piles on piles of cards that have been sent to me, printed, shipped. This is a big project I've worked on, and yeah, I'm excited to kind of have this come to a conclusion. I'm going to show you some of the ultra rare cards. Check these bad boys out. Look how cool that is. Isn't that super cool? Yeah, these are the ultra rares. So you get these, and like you are like the winner chicken dinner, man. I don't there's limited of these. Dave, what's up, man? Thanks for tuning in, brother. How you doing this fine, lovely Wednesday? Just talking about some stuff we got going on, some stuff that we've been working on, and yeah, thank you for tuning in, my brother. I appreciate it. We're gonna be working on some sketch cards here in a second. I'm kind of catching myself up a little bit. And actually, so I have another project I need to work on. So I'm kind of debating whether I want to work on this or the sketch cards. Sketch cards would be nice. Rock on, man. Oh, rock on, dude. Just chilling. It's always fun to just chill. I will admit it has been a stressful week for me. So I figured we wait for a couple people to pop in, and I could kind of go over. We could talk about Steel City Comic Con, and we could talk about some other things that that happened at the show, some things that you know, things that are happening all over the place. New events, the usual thing we usually do. Except for now, I get to draw. I'll probably start drawing on Steve's shows too, just to get some work done while we're working. That type of thing, What's new with you, my friend? Anything new, exciting? Did you have a show last weekend, or are you taking you on break? Let's see. Let me check. Right through this here for job. It's so dark. This is why I don't draw. Well, I'm hanging out with Steve. I can't see my markers, and then when I can see them, I throw them on the floor like that. I'm just kidding. So yeah, so I was at Steel City this last weekend, Steel City Comic Con. Now I'm not gonna talk. I'm not gonna talk bad about the show because I do like the show. The reason I like got Fan Expo Chicago is that this weekend or was that last weekend? I couldn't remember the order of events that Steve had. He's all over the place, all the time. Start with this one. Then we got Zombified Venom. These are all sketch cards that are part of the Patreon I did a while back. So I'm kind of excited to get these underway. Turn the light off. Damn it, I guess. I gotta figure this lighting right now. Sketch card. It's really tough. That's good. Okay. Fan Expo Chicago this weekend. Rock on, bro. Yeah, and so I don't have any shows until this weekend. I'm actually I'm gonna be out and about to where the heck are we going? Syracuse? Is it Syracuse? Syracuse, New York. We are going to my wife's aunt's cabin house thing. It's not really a cabin because they live there year round, but so that is where we're gonna be this weekend. Had to cancel. I talked about it on Steve's show. Had to cancel a show that I was gonna do so we could do this. Kind of regretting it a little bit, but still use that extra con cash. You know what I mean? Um. So, but I'm excited. The kids really like doing that, so that's kind of what matters. Um. So yeah, so Steel City was a good show. It was a good show. I can't lie. It wasn't like oh my god, I made $1 million, but it wasn't like oh my god, I can't afford to eat food this week. Um, but that's kind of another issue altogether. Um, so yeah, so I did Steel City, and so I made table. I made table and hotel. Again, it kind of helps that my wife does the show with me because we have that little bit of offset. It's like if I'm not doing well, she kind of does well regardless, as long as she's got enough stock and inventory. Um, so but I alone made table and hotel, which is great. So everything else was kind of a little bit extra, which is great because we needed that. Um, and they had some interesting guests. They were doing like a Full House reunion, which was interesting. And what else was it? Full House reunion. They had some voice actors from like Baldur's Gate that went. I guess one of the guys from Full House was the voice of Aladdin. I had no idea until somebody told me about it. I'm like, really? That's crazy. So that was kind of exciting. Um, but I got some serious work done while I was at the show. I did a one or two sketch covers. Now I'm a little bit slower, so it takes me a while to do things. But what was I gonna say? So yeah, I got a couple pieces done. So there was a lot of a slow lull to the show. Uh, but I had a weird Friday. It was the weirdest Friday. I would say probably record-setting Friday. Which really doesn't say much for me because I usually make absolutely nothing on Fridays. You ever have that day where you have a Friday and you're like, it surprises you that you're like, what the heck just happened? But then like Saturday is weird, even though it's like busy, but it's not a great day. Like it was the weirdest thing ever. And then Sunday was good again. It was so backwards. That was like a first that's ever happened. I was blown away. Yeah, I mean, I forget what you sell, Dave, but what Steve always mentions it on the show. Um, but so many people that pop in. Stuff that remember everything. My memory is shot. But a lot of fun. A lot of fun. So, anyways, so Saturday kind of had me fighting the blues. I'll admit, um, which was not exciting for me. I pride myself on staying pretty positive when I can. Um, and this show has kind of got actually this. Oh yeah, blacksmithing. That's right. That's right. That's right. Thank you. This show has single handedly gotten me over my being depressed after a show and thinking it was my fault. Because of how many times I've done this show and like it's had been like hit or miss experience. So this show is I feel like they're trying to evolve it a little bit, and I hope they do. It kind of seems that they are leaning that way to like getting newer get style of guests. I guess that they've kind of always prided themselves on doing older style guests. Dave, I don't know if you've ever been to Steel City, if you've ever been up this way, but I mean, you're going to Chicago, so I guess it's different. But if you have any experience or if you've heard about Steel City, love to hear. Love to hear what you've heard. If you have heard anything. So I talked to some of my vendor friends, and there are a few that are like not potentially not returning. There are some vendors that have been there for a while, and they're like, well, if they're gonna do newer guests, I'm not coming back. Kind of like okay, so this show doesn't care if you return or not. People like want to throw a hissy fit about like, well, whether or not they did well. That happened last time. I had neighbors next to me, and they were like, they even posted it on the Facebook group, like, this is the last time we're doing this show. And it just was like, I can't stand people who are dramatic like that, trying to draw attention to themselves. I mean, I get it. You're trying to do whatever you can. I think she was trying to like garnish a couple extra sales by the end of the day. But with that being said, the show is not the greatest show in the universe for us, for vendors. They like to fill it up with vendors and really cram us in. And that is what makes that show the worst experience out of all the shows that I do. And I'm not saying this, again, if someone still is listening, please don't take this the wrong way. This is not me saying that, this is your fault, you should do better. This is not me saying like, I hate the show. I'm not. None of that. None of that is true. I do like going to the show. It's the only show that I have a guaranteed have, which is kind of nice. Like a guaranteed it's happening. You know what I mean? You've never been there, huh? Okay. Well, no worries, man. Say if you have other shows that you do well at, I stick to those. This show, it's just very weird. There's a lot of people with regulars. It's also the only show that doesn't ever change their floor plan layout. I don't know how long this show's been doing it. This is something I probably should have looked up before I started the show. But it's they seem very stuck in their ways. And don't get me wrong, it's probably a lot easier for them to be like, oh well, you're a returning vendor, you're just gonna be here where you were last time unless you want to be moved. And most people are like, to me, it's like the only other place that you can really go is a better spot that's like closer to the celebrities that people see you more, or the vendor area, which is more expensive, and you pretty much get drowned out. So there's like a small room, and then there's like this big room. The small room is where we are, me and my wife, and we hang out in there, and we like it. So the reason we like it is because we see the celebrities walk by. They walk down that aisle. Not all of them, but some of them do. They walk down that aisle. It seems to be natural for them to come right out and walk down the aisle. Because usually we don't have the craziest congestion, which is great for that aspect of the show, not great for people coming and looking at things. Again, and I think that has a lot to do with the fact that no one ever has moved around, so people kind of know which aisles to avoid or to go to. If they've never, and if they don't think that there's a new vendor down there, they won't look down. They won't walk down that lane. Some people do. They do the whole thing. They're like, oh, we gotta do the whole entire show and then come back, and they never do. So I mean, that's kind of a weird one for me. Is like, again, every other show I've been in a different spot, much better. Whether was a better spot or a worse spot than the year before or whatever, is something entirely different. But yeah, this show was it's just I don't know. I did well enough. It's one of those I did well enough to return, but not well enough to be like excited about having extra money to spend this week. And again, part of that still I think really does have to do with a little bit with the economy, and I could be completely wrong. Because people were still buying light boxes, but not in droves not as in droves as they have been. and that could just be because some. I mean, a lot of the people are like, they're returning um, attendees. They're like, oh, I already have a light box by you. I like it, and that's in my wife's case. I try to have like new stuff every time, and she tries to has new light boxes and stuff available. But I mean, people can only collect like so many light boxes, which does kind of stink. Um, but it's kind of the nature of the business, right? Ooh, that's why she's got the fidgets too. Something new to collect and see and do every time. So, anyways, so I'm kind of talking about like the con blues, right? We all kind of get them at some point or another. At least I think we all do, especially as an artist. We definitely do. Um, and it's a tough thing to overcome because you want to first blame yourself. You want to blame things. Well, you either want to blame yourself or you want to blame things that are completely out of your control, and that is gonna hurt you in the long run. Um, if you can't take the loss, accept it, and kind of either move on from the show or figure out how to do it better the next time. So I do this thing kind of, and maybe I'm a little, I don't know, I'm kind of weird, I guess. I was like, okay, I did this show. Like obviously there's like a point system, and I kind of assign to every show that I do. It's like how well I do at the show. What's the percentage of people that come to the show, and out of everything, out of the people that come, is it enough to maintain coming again? Is it did I make enough to maintain coming again if I have new stuff? And what percentage of people are here for the art? The downside is that I have not ran into a single show other than Baltimore Comic Con, which I didn't do well at because no one walked in my area. Where I had people, and I guess this is sort of only kind of true. And I have regulars now, which is a little different than before, which makes it again also makes it tough to leave a show. Um, where like there were people at the show specifically for art. If that makes sense. Um, like they're like, oh, I really like art, and like asking about your things and asking you about your process and all sort of stuff. There just wasn't a ton of that. There's not a ton of that at a lot of these shows I do, which kind of really stinks. Um, and it's so funny because like I talk to people that live on the West Coast, and completely different experience there. Very weird, very weird. I don't know if it's just because I live in New York or what. This is the area for that kind of stuff, but it's very weird. It's a very weird environment. Um, so kind of back to what I was saying. I lost track of what I was saying. Um, oh my goodness, what was I saying? I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. Drawing here, I'm kind of half concentrating on one thing, and then I'm gonna get on with the subject, and then we'll talk about more fun things in that. So yeah, some things you can't do, right? Unless you get this feedback from someone. So part of it is like I like to make friends at shows, and that kind of helps. You know, you can kind of get feedback from them on like how are they doing. They're in a different spot. Are they doing well? Are they doing bad? This is why networking is super important at shows. For those of you who are newer to shows or looking to get into shows, um, unless your work is beyond amazing, if you don't network at shows, you're gonna end up kind of in the worst way. Personally, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, and maybe I'm wrong. I know guys that like snuff at you when you walk by and you're trying to talk to them, like, and I mean they make good sales, but I think like a lot of that is like time, effort, money. Maybe they don't even know what the heck you're coming over for. Who knows? Um, yeah, So like talking to other people, talking to other vendors about how the show is and for them, and I like at this show, I actually had people that I like have been doing the show for a while, and they're talking about not coming back. And I mean, even my buddy was like trying to look for guys who want to come, guys who wanted to do the charity draw. So I did the charity draw this year, and I'll talk about that in a second too. I did the charity draw this year, and he's like, I was having a hard time finding people, actual artists. They're either a bunch of proxies or print vendors, or it's like we're apparently becoming a rare species here. I mean, some shows, like don't get me wrong, do not have an issue with that, but this one is definitely. We had the guest artist was there was Kevin Kobasic. I'm probably saying that wrong. Kevin, if you're watching this, man, I'm extremely sorry. Um, I was pronouncing it Kobasic, but then like the announcer dude was calling him Kobazic or Kobazic. I'm like, that is not how that's spelled, but all right. So I don't know if I was saying it wrong or the announcer guy was saying it wrong. Anyway, not that I, not that I'm trying to rant here. Um. So yeah, so there's a few things you definitely got to look at when you're not doing as well as a show you hope you did. So here's another perfectly prime example. So I did this Mayel piece for Expedition 33 because Jennifer English was there, who did the voice, and not a single person even looked at that print. Now I have a very small space in the show, which is another downside to the show. Oh, Dave, you gotta head out, man. All right, dude. Well, have a good night, man, and I'll catch you next Wednesday, hopefully. I'm not sure if when Steve's planning on returning. I think he's got a busy couple weeks, but yeah, man. Have a good night, bro. Um, so anyways, back to talking about Steel City. So I did a Mayel piece, which I put a lot of time and effort into, and yeah, I was sad to see that not a single. I think I sold one or two prints. No, the things that sold the best were Derpy Tiger, which really saved me this weekend, I think. Um, peace out, Dave. Derpy Tiger from K-pop Demon Hunters. If you guys haven't watched that, it's a huge hit right now. Uh, K-pop Demon Hunters. That piece I did, which was a huge hit, and SK from Expedition 33, which was really weird. Sound like the voice actor for SK, you know. Um, so I was pretty down and out about that, but I'm like, you know, I'm at that point with this show where I've gotten over the blues. This is just a weird crop. So that helped a lot. Um, was just knowing this show has that expectation, and you know, we're gonna kind of keep it on the burner for now, because again, I did well enough with the trend tracing, trend trend chasing. Blah. Sorry. Um, I did well enough with the trend chasing that it saved me for this show. So I guess if I keep doing that, you know, I won't have any issues going forward with the show. Maybe I just won't concentrate on, if the guests are there, doing print specifically for guests. Um, because again, it did not it didn't work out too. So I was a little down and out about that, and here's my steps to regaining and losing that failure mode that kind of activates. So I like to go into like troubleshooting mode almost. I mean, I have that background, so I'm like, I work in IT, and I have a moral support system, which helps too. Having that definitely helps. Also, if you guys don't know what I'm drawing, this is venomized or zombified venom. There's a logo here. Making him mean. Making him mean. Don't have my fine line markers right now. I'm gonna go in with colors, all sorts of craziness later on him. This is open. This is stuff later. All right, that's good. All right. So yes. So continuing on, getting over the blues. Take a little break here. A little strong break. So getting over the blues can be tough to do. I'll put this up here. Yeah. So some things that I like to think about when I'm at a show, and I'm not doing well. Or maybe I'm doing kind of good, and then I'm like, one thing you can always do is like, okay, figure out how much money you made. Sometimes that helps. There are shows where I was surprised by how much money I made at the end of it, and I was like, okay, I didn't do too bad, and that made me feel a little bit better about it. But that's the thing, like, so when we do shows, there's the financial aspect of it, because it's like, well, you hope to make your table back, you hope to make your hotel back if you have a hotel, you hope that all these things will work out for you, and if they don't, you've kind of like set yourself up for that expectation of failure. And I don't think there's really a way around it. There's not really, because at the end of the day, it's a financial burden. Nobody can afford to just be like, I'm just going to drop $1,000 on a table hotel and be like super happy about it, even if I don't make any money. I don't know anybody that's like that. I don't think there's anybody that's out there that's like that. I mean, and maybe if you do this as a hobby, that's fine. But if you're trying to do this professionally and you're trying to make some serious cash and you're trying to, further your career in some way, whether it be making connections with someone else, whether it's, can I do Shang-Chi? Yeah, I can. Let me. We're just taking a quick break from the draw, and then I'll hop back into it. I can do a quick sketch. That's not a problem at all, man. Thanks for tuning in, Soka Tess. Is that correct? Hopefully. Yeah, I'm just talking about Artist Alley and kind of getting over that hump, and this applies to anything else you could do too, is try to take everything you can good from the show that you're working on, and then switch it over to like, okay, what's the gain I've gained from this show, and you will have a show that's not going to do well, but hopefully you've spent some time and effort into making connections
that will further you in your career, will help you out in some way, or made a new friend, someone you can hang out with after hours, and draw along, or someone that may potentially carry your name to someone and say, hey, this so and so, he came up to me, showed me his portfolio. So like making connections and networking is super important, and if you can do that at every show you do, you will do great at some point. But obviously, you have to have the skills to back that up. So the other thing that I think about is are my skills enough? So, you're like, okay, well, was it my art? Was my art bad? So, okay, thank you very much, man. I appreciate that so much. I really do. That means a lot. I mean, I like to create things for other people, and hearing that from people just really makes my day. So I appreciate that for real. Um, so like and then try not to be too hard on yourself when you're doing that evaluation after a show, and you're like, well, was it my art? I mean, probably wasn't your art. It was probably the show, but it could have been the way that your art was presented. So then you got to think about ways that you can kind of incorporate better ways to present your art and your best work out in front of people's faces. So like when they walk by your booth, you're like, wow, So like trying to be strategic about these things will really make a difference going forward. I like to take any failure I have at a show and turn it into how can I make it better. It's an opportunity for growth. It really is every time, and I feel like that has helped me a lot with some of these shows. Like returning to Steel City for the sixth time, fifth time, really helped. Really helped that I changed some things up. Some things sold better this time. Other things did not. So now I'm, trying to put it all together and see what's going to be the best presentation. All right, let me get another piece of paper here. I'll get the sketchbook out. Soka wants looking for Shang-Chi. You can do that, man. Definitely. Let us see if I got a pencil somewhere. I should have a pencil somewhere over the rainbow. Perfect. I have a pencil, but do I have my sharpener somewhere? How are you this wonderful evening, Soka? Let me switch back to.
There we go. Let's see. Quick googly. That's awesome. Good to hear. Thank you for tuning in so late at night. It's late, kind of like the late night draw stream. Uh, do you like the movie version of Shang-Chi, or do you like the comic version of Shang-Chi? You prefer? Nice to draw on paper. I will admit I've been doing a lot more digital stuff, and nice to draw on paper. Great drawing. Awesome. Comic, all right, dude. don't know why, but I get Shang-Chi and Iron Fist. Two completely different characters. See, see the process. First, I make the pose, figure out the pose, and then I like that. We suggested. Ooh, wow. Up is so I did the charity draw that was at Steel City, and that was a lot of fun. I had drawn what's his face, Jeff the Land Shark, earlier in the day. I'm like, you know what, this is probably the perfect character to draw this event. So I drew that, and somebody had asked for any character, any comic, or any character at all dressed in a Halo armor. Like, that's fun. So that's what I did. I did Jeff in Halo armor. I thought it was super fun. Check that out. I posted it on social. And then for those of you who are tuned in, thank you again for tuning in. Oh, I won't lie, Kung Fu martial arts pose. So what are you up to? Getting ready for bed? Yeah. Earlier in the day for you? Is it, where do you hail from? You don't have to answer if you don't want to. Make it friendly. But yeah, so the charity draw was really fun. I'm really glad I raised like over $800 or something for some charity, some children's charity in the Pittsburgh area. So that was really great. That kind of stuff makes you really feel good about myself, you know. So I'm looking around for a pencil sharpener. Bear with me for a moment. seeing. I've been told it's sharp. Not a good. Oh. Hold on. Sorry. I realized that I don't have any of my equipment from the show. So I'm like, okay, nothing's unpacked yet. Younger. Knuckles. See, I'm really grateful for tons of fun. Go to Marvel for a new customer. I I plan on sending my stuff out soon. I did not know this actually until recently. I am connected to the CEO of Glass House Studios. He does a lot of like indie comics. So I actually have to do an updated version of my portfolio because what I have in my portfolio right now is not a representation of my best work. And I've been knocking out so much like pin-ups and stuff that so many pin-ups and stuff that I have not been putting putting effort in my portfolio. buy your Shang-Chi art. I don't have a Shang-Chi piece yet. So I guess I will have. Um, I'm so disappointed they didn't come out with a new movie. Ooh. But if you want to give me a follow on Facebook or Instagram, I'm just sketching the beast over there. I also now have a Patreon. Should be a link in the description. Check out the Patreon if you'd like. I have commission. I'll have commission stuff available soon, and I have stickers. I do I have time lapses, all sorts of stuff. So check that out. I would love. Yeah, part of the team. This is a quick sketch. Uh, that makes it nice. Yeah, I kind of appreciate it. Yeah, I really do. Yeah, anybody that signs up for at least the sticker club this month, because it's new, Patreon is new. They get an extra sticker and an extra link. I'll figure out once I send it to them. There's his hair, there's the thing. Yeah, I even have a poll out there somewhere that's you can request what the first month will hold. So feel free to vote on that. Voting is still open. Yeah, it's just fun. Thank you. It made my day. I appreciate it. It made my day that you stopped in and asked. So I appreciate it for real. Um, yeah, really do appreciate it. Thank you very much. You're a Shang-Chi fan, I take it. He's a cool character. How did you like the movie? I'm hoping. I think that I had heard that they're bringing it back. I don't know if there's any actual official yet, but uh, yeah, it would be cool. See the next movie. I really liked the first one. It was great. Let me throw a quick shade of ink on this bad boy, real quick. It's always hit or miss, but this is just a quick sketch. Oh yeah, he's got. I guess I could draw that. Read it. Pretty awesome without him. I give him 8. I didn't think the movie was awesome. He is in Doomsday. Oh, is he? Oh, that's exciting. That would be awesome. I'm very excited. I have not watched Fantastic Four yet, but I did watch the Thunderbirds. I have kids, so I never get to see these things anymore. Me and my wife, we used to go see all the Marvel movies like religiously. Um, we don't much anymore, but yeah, I'm excited. That one I would definitely will kind of come to a head. I kind of have. It'll be also interesting to see Robert Downey as Doom. All right. So I don't know how long you've been here. But thank you for tuning in. In case you missed it, I was talking about some of the projects I'm working on. So I have a couple things in the type on. This is kind of one of the good for my portfolio. Is so I'm going to be announcing Zack Stamen number one, my comic character in the next few months here. Once this other Kickstarter I'm working on is finalized, so I'm very excited. The sketch cards, the trading cards, finally, that's exciting. And yeah. Oh, the other thing I wanted to talk about this tonight. That is cool. It's really my mental health. Thank you. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I'm glad I could help you out. If you're ever feeling down about anything, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm around. Around. I know what that's. Know what that's like. Kind of one of those things that I was, when I was talking about art and conventions and stuff. A lot of those things really can be a pretty big mental hassle on your mind and your state of mind. So, no, I get it. Get it. 100%. Yeah. Don't ever hesitate. Glad I caught you, and glad you popped in. Glad I could help you make you feel a little bit better. I too am kind of struggling. It's nice to go on, chat, hang out, all that stuff. No, so all right. Thank you for the opportunity to draw. Thank you. I appreciate I appreciate you. Thank you for it again. I will likely be live next Tuesday as well, around the same time, 2:30 Eastern time. Uh, Steve, my buddy Steve, will be occupied for another week. So, I will try and tune back in next Wednesday for live stream. Should link Steve's somewhere. We do chat every week, and I don't really do any. I don't really do drawings on this channel, but I like to probably start. But I'll definitely be on next Wednesday. Make sure if you didn't already, give me a subscription so you get notified. Hit that notification button. On. That make your day. Yeah, so this is just a sketch. Obviously, it's not a full-fledged piece, but yeah, I'm glad you like it, man. So um, here I'll give you a little teaser of the trading cards that's coming out. Check this out. The trading cards. So I'm gonna be putting these in packs soon. Have to organize them all and put them in by rarity and yada yada yada. Every pack is guaranteed rare. I will have those available soon after the Kickstarter is built. I'll have listed them. All right. Well, it is that time of the night. I am actually going to be popping off. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you for watching me draw Shang-Chi and chat about comics and Artist Alley. And I hope you have a fantastic night. I'm glad that Soka, I'm glad that you popped in when you did. And hopefully I'll catch you next Wednesday. Peace out. Great night, guys.